Okay. Now everything's working for me. So I know y'all want to know what's going on, and we're going to get to that. But just I'm going to kind of stall here for a minute or two because I'd like to get our team the opportunity to push this out to some of our other locations like YouTube, some of our other places like that, the website. So just bear with me for a minute here. Peggy says second time's a charm. Yes, that's true. We did have some technical difficulties a second ago. Denise is here from Rockwall. Beth's here. Can you hear me? Mike's in Lamar County. Yeah, you're seeing some storms up there, Mike. Amanda says bring on the storms. Kim's at DFW Airport. Let's see. Kathy wants some rain in Waxahachie, it looks like. Nina's just wondering if it's going to happen in Richardson. Yeah, we're going to talk about it. I don't think everybody's going to see storms today, but some of you will. Some of you will. Terry's here from Plano. Good to see you. Jennifer, if you are watching, just shoot me a text to know that this is up in all the places it needs to be up so I can kind of get going here. But like I said, I'm trying to stall just for a minute here because our digital team is getting this posted in a few other locations. So it's not just on Facebook. We have it on some of our other platforms so that everybody can watch it from different locations here. Tommy's here from Southeast Garland. So just bear with me. We'll get into everything. In the meantime, we do have you can see on the screen there, we do have a severe thunderstorm watch until 6 o'clock this evening. Nancy's here from North Dallas by Addison. Know the area well, Nancy. Karen's here from, Karen's here. Hope you're not I'm sorry about your name. From here from White Rock. Cody, storms going to be throughout the day? No, I don't see storms being all day long. All right, Jennifer says we're live, so I think I can really get going here. So here's what's going on. We do have a severe thunderstorm watch until 6 o'clock this evening. It's for all of the DFW area. And it is for areas just to the east and areas just to the north as well. I am going to minimize kind of y'all for a minute, so I won't see your comments here while I tour the radar, but just bear with me on that as well. So here's the situation we have going on. We did have a severe thunderstorm up in the Denton area earlier. That storm's quickly moved off to the east, and now it's kind of between Sherman and... Actually, there's still a warning until 12:15, but the storm is now moved completely out of the area that was under a severe thunderstorm warning. But Sherman to Bonham, so that warning still runs till 12:15. But I could venture to say that really we don't have any active severe thunderstorm warnings right now because the rest of this storm is not warned right now. But some heavy rain falling between Sherman and Bonham along Highway 82. I would be surprised. Maybe see some small hail kind of right on the, let me pause it here, west sides of Bonham there, potentially. This storm has had a history of producing hail. But as you can see, there's nothing, or at least there's some stuff trying to form back to the west here. But it hasn't been able to, which is a good thing, which is a really good thing because the concern is if we can get any other storms like this one that formed originally it formed back near Mineral Wells, and then this storm moved up through kind of northern Denton County, and now it's up here in parts of Cook County, and then up into the Bonham area. Actually, that's Grayson County. Cook County's the one next to that. And now it's up in parts of Fanning County. So the concern is if we can get any other storms forming back farther to the south in and around the Metroplex. And so far, that hasn't happened. And that's a really good thing. That's a really good thing. We do have a little bit of a cap in place. So we did earlier today. So I'd imagine that maybe we got some of that going on as well. There's also, I don't want to get too technical with y'all, but there's also some other situations going on when it comes to why we're not getting, a lot of other storms forming back here to the south. What you can't see is we actually have a cold front that's moving through North Texas right now. and these storms are forming just kind of right along or out ahead of that cold front, and then quickly, zipping off to the north and east there. So DFW, I think, give it another couple hours, because I can't sound the all clear until this front actually moves through, the Metroplex here. And we have to watch to see if any storms form farther back to the south. But so far, nothing has. That's good. Let's keep it that way. But the reason why DFW is underneath that severe thunderstorm watch until 6 o'clock this evening is because I can't rule out that, like this little shower here, small thunderstorm between Denton and McKinney, turns into something a little more substantial. You can barely see it. But maybe this storm, I hope my cursor shows up on here. I think it does. Does it not? Okay, my cursor doesn't show up. So I'll circle it for you. This little shower here in Cleburne, or west of Cleburne, I can't rule out that doesn't turn into something. So that's the situation that we're dealing with, and that's why we're under that severe thunderstorm watch until 6 o'clock this evening, is because until that front moves through, I can't sound the all clear in terms of the chance for some storms to move overhead. Now, the main threat with any of these storms is going to be a wind and hail threat. As they move, well, actually, let's go through Timecast here, because I can kind of get into that a little bit more. So actually, this Timecast model, I think, doing pretty decent job. It's not perfect, but it actually has kind of that one little thunderstorm up there between Denton and McKinney. Right now, remember, it's kind of between Sherman and Bonham, so it's off to the south by just a little bit. But as far as computer models go, actually doing a pretty good job. And you can see as we head into the afternoon here, those storms kind of keep forming up from Bonham to Paris, and not a whole lot happens back in DFW. I really am hoping that that's the case, because then DFW not going to see much today, and that's great. But I can't sound that all clear until that front really moves through, and we're on the backside of that front, because any of those little showers that I showed you earlier, have the potential to form, maybe get a little bit stronger. So that's what we're going to keep our eyes on here. But so we'll say between now and about 2-3 o'clock, I think is kind of the window for that. But look, as we head into the afternoon, 3, 4, 5 o'clock this evening, we get more storms farther to the east, mainly over East Texas, and then kind of in parts of our eastern counties, Canton, Terrell, Sulphur Springs, Paris. We get some storms out that way, and then they just kind of keep going as we head into the nighttime hours. So DFW actually this afternoon could see some lingering showers, maybe a rumble of thunder or something like that late this afternoon into this evening. But really, once that front passes, my concern really decreases for DFW. It does not decrease for areas to the east. That's why that severe thunderstorm watch runs until 6 o'clock this evening, because there's still going to be storms out that way through 6 o'clock this evening, and they may be a little bit stronger than what's going on out there right now. Right now, really all we have is those few storms up there near the Red River, and we could have a little bit more activity form farther to the east that becomes a little bit more on the strong side. Hail and wind would still be the main threats with those, but that tornado threat, not zero in those locations. By that, I'm talking about east of DFW. I'm talking about, if we go back to the watch here, I'm talking about these areas east of DFW, kind of something like that, those type of areas. Later on this afternoon into this evening. So the majority of that's actually east of most of North Texas. If we're talking about our North Texas counties here, it's Paris, Sulphur Springs down to Canton. And I'm not saying it's a high tornado threat at all. I know when I say that word, everybody's brain doesn't think about anything else. It's a low threat. It's definitely a low threat. Much more concerned about wind and hail, but it's not zero. So I got to mention it. I got to say something about it. But for DFW, any storms that form between now and 2-3 o'clock, it's a wind and hail threat. But right now, as I mentioned, there's nothing concerning going on in DFW, which is great. We can credit maybe the cap a little bit for that. We can credit maybe a little bit outflow from that thunderstorm that we saw earlier. There's, like I said, I don't want to get too technical, but the the upper level support for this whole thing has kind of been lagging behind, and everything, in order to get significant storms or really strong storms or good severe weather, not good in the sense of it's a good thing, but good in the sense of robustness, you need all these puzzle pieces to come together. And so far over DFW, that's not happening. Once again, totally fine with me. I'm sure that's totally fine with you as well. But we still have this front moving through. As I draw it back on here, we still have this front moving through. So out ahead of this front, I can't sound the all clear, and we still have to watch, any of these little showers or thunderstorms that are trying to form. We have to watch all those closely because they could turn into something a little bit more robust. Especially as we head into the afternoon here, we get a little bit warmer outside. That front gets a little bit closer to us. So I can't sound the complete all clear, even though not a whole lot's going on in the DFW area right now, which once again is good. And we hope it just kind of stays that way. But until that front really moves through, I can't sound the all clear. And so it'll happen between now and about 2-3 o'clock. For Denton, you're behind the front. In fact, we can go over to our temperatures here. And even though the temperature in Denton hasn't changed too much, it's still 64. When you compare that to McKinney and Dallas, which are in the mid 70s right now, yeah, that's definitely different. And that front looks like it's basically moving through Fort Worth at the moment. You got 50s behind the front, 70s out ahead of it. So until that front passes, like I said, I really can't sound the all clear yet. But it looks like, going back to radar, if we zoom in here and draw kind of that line, where those showers are, anything or storm, wrong thing. Anything behind this activity, you're in the clear. So that's pretty much Fort Worth because the front's on top of you. It's highly unlikely that something's just going to explode in the next 10 to 15 minutes on top of Fort Worth. Saginaw, Eagle Mountain Lake, Denton, Sanger, most of Denton County now is kind of in the clear. But we are, we still do have these little showers trying to form here up toward Louisville and on top of the airport and Frisco. So you're going to see a little rain, but nothing concerning right now. In fact, even though we have that severe thunderstorm watch in place, there's no severe weather right now in any part of North Texas. There's a stronger thunderstorm, a heavy thunderstorm up in Bonham right now, but it is not technically severe. You have to have hail size of 1 inch or bigger in order for a storm to be severe when it comes to hail. Also, wind gusts of around 60 miles an hour or higher, or if a storm has a tornado, it's clearly severe. We don't have any of that going on right now, which is great. I hope we stay that way for the rest of the afternoon. But once again, I can't sound that all clear until the front moves through. So let me put this back in motion. I've had you guys minimized because I can't do two things at the same time with this computer. So let me kind of get back to some questions here. I'm just going to scroll back up a little bit. There's a ton of questions, but just because I probably missed some, I'll just scroll up as far as I can, and then we'll go back down. Oh, people were telling me my cursor was visible. That's good. Rhonda says it's raining hard in Sherman. It should be done by now. Tracy wants more of what we just had in Denton. Are you talking about the storm that you just had? Or the fact that it's cooling off? David says we had 4 inches of rain in Fate earlier this week. Yeah, I believe it. Those storms that we had earlier this week were decently strong. Debbie, is there a chance of hail? Yeah, that's why we have the severe thunderstorm watch in place, is because the threats today with any severe storm is for wind and hail. Is everybody going to see storms? No. Is everybody going to see severe storms? An even lower percentage of you than that. So far, the only areas that have seen severe storms are there was a severe storm earlier today north of Gainesville, and then there was one up there in northern Denton County and even up into parts of Grayson County. That's the only severe storms that we've had today. Otherwise, those are the only locations that have seen them. So not everybody's going to see severe weather today. Even if you're under severe thunderstorm watch, that doesn't guarantee anything. And then not necessarily everybody's going to see storms today either. Michael's asked about McKinney. Derek's asking about Red Oak. Yeah, I mean, McKinney has a couple little showers and storms trying to blow up in and around your area. You're going to see a little rain in McKinney, but nothing concerning right now. Red Oak, nothing concerning at the moment, but we'll keep an eye on everything. Sasha's saying, yeah, dark in McKinney. Yeah, because you got some showers, maybe rumble of thunder out your way. Diamond says, nothing here in Bedford, but the sky got dark. Bedford's pretty much in the clear. I mean, the front's kind of moving through. That's probably why the sky got dark, is because that front's basically moving through your area right now. Sharon says it rains 30 seconds in Addison. Yeah, and you could see a little more rain here in the next hour or so. But once again, we're waiting to see if any of this other stuff can develop into anything more concerning or more robust. And so far, it has not. Is it possible? Sure, absolutely. Is it guaranteed? Absolutely not. I mean, that's just the situation that we're dealing with today. Debbie's asking about Paris. Paris, you have a little bit better chance of storms because you have the stuff that's a little closer to you. Paris has a better chance of seeing some storms today, I think, than the DFW areas. Or at least a better chance of maybe seeing a strong storm than the DFW area does. Cynthia says it's pouring in Van Alstyne. Yeah, it was earlier. It may still be a little bit up that way. Let me go back. I'll zoom in a little bit here. That's not what I wanted. This is what I wanted. These showers that have popped up here, excuse me, kind of between Little Elm, Frisco, the Colony, to Louisville, north end of the airport. I mean, they're heavy. Yeah, if it moves over your house, you're going to know it. But they're not anything to be concerned about. They're really not. Could they keep growing? Sure, but right now, not anything to be worried about. Melvin, what about Midlothian? You could see some storms. I mean, it's not the farther you're not under the watch. By the way, you're not under the severe thunderstorm watch. So severe chances for you, extremely low. Storm chances for you, pretty low as well. Peggy says Collin County got a warning, but it was pretty much out of the county. Yeah, and it was like for the far northwestern sliver of Collin County. Carmen, when will the cold front move in the Dallas Love Field area? Give it another hour. That's why I say between now and about 2-3 o'clock is from west. Some of you are already in the clear, Denton to Fort Worth and everywhere else west of that. But so like Arlington would be next, but if you're in Lancaster or Mesquite, it's going to be another hour and a half before that front gets to you. Gabriella asked about Louisville. You're seeing a downpour right now, but nothing concerning. Yeah, I mean, basically, if you're asking about your town at the moment, I really don't have. To be honest with you, I would mention your town if there was something concerning happening right now, and there's really not. I mean, so if you're asking about Waxahachie, if you're asking about Denton, if you're asking about Saginaw or whatever, I mean, I really can't tell you much because there's not a whole lot going on. Let me go back to this. If you're south of the immediate Dallas-Fort Worth area, which is Tarrant County, Dallas County, Collin County, Denton County, and I know that the DFW area bleeds into surrounding counties, Rockwall, Ellis, Johnson County. I get it. But the immediate Dallas-Fort Worth area, you're under that watch. But if you're outside of that, so if you're asking me about Waxahachie, if you're asking me about Cleburne or Burleson, you're not under the severe thunderstorm watch. But everywhere in and around the immediate Dallas-Fort Worth area to the east and to the north is, and those are the areas that could see a strong to severe storm. You may not even see thunderstorms in those areas because they're not guaranteed by any means. And that's why I'm saying that we're just kind of watching this line here as this front moves through to see if anything happens to develop. If you're, west of this line, you're fine. If you're along and east of it, more so east of it, because if you're along it, there's not enough time for anything to develop. But if you're east of it, then I can't sound that all clear yet. So if you're asking me about Dallas or McKinney or Terrell, yeah, I mean, nothing's happening right now, but there is still a chance that you see storms. There is still a chance that you could see a severe storm. I don't think it's a high chance by any means, but the chance is there. So Susan, will this clear out the Metroplex this afternoon? Yeah. I mean, there could be, some redevelopment of maybe some light rain, or, there could even be a rumble of thunder this evening and into tonight behind all of this, but the severe threat is done once this moves through. Let's see. Antoinetta or Antoine. Yeah, that's what I'm going to go with. Well, cold front begins storms overnight. There could be a little more rain late tonight and into tomorrow morning, but after this, afternoon, any sort of severe threat or anything like that is done. Kristen said rain just started in Frisco. Please no hail. I don't see any hail in Frisco right now. Just rain. Yeah, just says headed north on 75 and Allen, dark clouds. Well, I hope you're not driving and responding to this Facebook Live at the same time. Yeah, it's dark. Yeah, I mean, look at these. Just look at this stuff up here. It looks like it, and this is why I think we still have a little bit of a cap in place, at least over DFW and farther south, because either that or, once again, I don't want to get too technical, but either that or the upper level support hasn't moved in just yet. I guess it's my Facebook Live. I can get however technical I want. Either that or the upper level support really hasn't moved in yet, and we can't get those storms to develop. Because just if you watch this loop up here, I mean, you can see just this stuff's kind of like bubbling up and down. Like it's kind of was strong over the north into Lake Louisville, then it kind of dissipated. Now that's raining hard in Frisco, but as it moves a little east of there, it could kind of fall apart again. None of this stuff back to the south can really get going, which once again, totally fine with me, and I hope it stays that way. I hope it absolutely stays that way. But I can't say with 100% certainty that it will, because until that front moves through, I can't sound the all clear just yet. I mean, we got, the sun's coming out a little bit in places. We got temperatures in the mid 70s, low to mid 70s out ahead of that front. So there's some juice to work with. But once again, kind of like I said earlier, if you were watching, all the puzzle pieces have to come together in order for you to get storms or severe storms. And if one piece is missing, sometimes it doesn't happen. So that looks to be the case right now. Hopefully it stays that way for the next few hours, but I can't sound the all clear until that front moves through your area. I hope that makes sense to everybody. So Melissa's asking about Kemp. Kemp's technically in southern Kaufman County. So technically you're underneath the severe thunderstorm warning, but honestly, I think your severe chances are pretty low today. Not zero, but pretty low. Alicia says, best time to avoid this driving from Arlington to Denton. I mean, if you left now, honestly, you're not going to see much. You might drive through a little rain, but there's just not enough time if you left now for things to really blow up on top of you. Murphy, is there another wave coming? There might be some rain late tonight and into tomorrow morning, but no severe threat or anything like that. David says, so it might probably not rain, but it is a probability that it will, but we don't know probably. Yeah, I know it. I can't speak in absolutes, because the second I say something's going to happen, it won't happen. but I'm just trying to give you the best. The weather is always going to deal in chances, because until we figure this all out, our predictions are never going to be 100% accurate. So that's why I'm always saying that, probably, maybe, potentially, we use a lot of those words. Let me read something real fast here. Yeah. So I was just reading something from the Weather Service, and they were saying there is still a little bit of cap left in DFW, which confirms my thinking, that's why a lot of this, hasn't been able to develop over the DFW area just yet. Which, once again, God bless the cap. Hope it stays that way. But east of DFW, and I touched on this a little earlier, but I know I've been talking for a while here. Let me go back to Timecast. East of DFW, there's probably there's a little bit more instability. Not probably. There is a little bit more instability, and it's warmer out that way. There's some breaks in the clouds. So as this front moves over into east of the DFW area, so those of you Terrell, Greenville, Sulphur Springs, Paris, Canton, East Texas, the Arklatex, farther to the east, that's where I think there's a better chance of these storms really forming, and potentially they could turn strong to severe. So, if I had to let me draw something on here real fast. For those of you still watching, I appreciate you still watching, by the way. For DFW, the timing's here in the next, through 2-3 o'clock is what I've been saying. But after that, the threat really shifts over into kind of these areas. And I think that those places have a little bit better potential, not only at seeing storms, but the potential at maybe seeing a strong to severe storm as well. For DFW, we're really, the window is closing because we have to, nothing's really formed just yet. It's not impossible. But as that front moves through, the window closes from west to east. But there's still more time for that front to move into East Texas, and still more of a chance for the cap to weaken and there to be storms that form out that way. This stuff's trying to blow up here in northern parts of the DFW, north of the airport, Louisville, the Colony, right along 121, the east sides of Lake Louisville up to Frisco, just west of the tollway there. But it's still not concerning right now. We'll keep our eyes on it, but right now it's not anything that I'm overly worried about by any means. It's a little bit more robust than it was earlier, definitely. But in the immediate short term, I'm not overly concerned about it right now. But could it turn into something and Rockwall to Wiley see maybe a little stronger storm? Sure. And that's why we're just going to keep our eyes on it and kind of keep watching all of this through the rest of the afternoon here. So that's what we're dealing with. So yeah, I'm gonna let y'all go. I'm gonna update a few things on our website and on the social media channels as well. I think we're gonna do. Sorry, my lips dry from talking so much. I think we're gonna do another one of these maybe around 1 o'clock, maybe a little after that. So be on the lookout. I think on Facebook or on our website or app. Maybe on YouTube as well. So be on the lookout for it there. But I am going to wrap this one up and kind of get my ducks in a row, and then we'll post a few things on social media, and then hopefully we'll do another one here around 1-ish or something like that. And hopefully I'm telling you the same information I'm telling you now, that just not a whole lot's happening. We got a little thunderstorm activity, but nothing of concern. So I hope that's the way it stays. Remember, you can always, we're going to keep social updated the rest of the day. We'll keep the website updated the rest of the day. You can always go to our website and look at the radars there. Download our app. The radars are on the app. You get push alerts for warnings for your location. Also, you get push alerts usually when we're doing one of these Facebook Lives or there's any sort of updates. So thank you all for watching. Stay safe. Stay dry the rest of the afternoon. And I'll either talk to you in a little bit, hopefully, and I'm saying much of the same. So we'll talk later.